Have you ever heard of Seneca? He was a smart Roman guy who wrote letters a long time ago. These letters have some really important ideas about how to handle your feelings and find peace inside yourself. We're going to talk about 5 of these letters where Seneca gives us advice on how to control our emotions and find happiness that doesn't depend on what's happening around us. It's like having a secret superpower to stay happy even when things get tough. This way of thinking is called Stoicism, and Seneca was really good at it. He helps us learn practical ways to deal with life's ups and downs so we can feel happier no matter what's going on outside. Lesson 1. Intellectual thought as a source of joy. You know when you read a really cool book or learn something new that makes you excited? Well, Seneca thought that using your brain and learning new things could make you really happy. He said that by thinking deeply and learning about different stuff, you can find a kind of happiness that doesn't go away, even if things around you change. It's like having a treasure chest of happiness inside your mind. When you explore new ideas and learn new things, you discover more about yourself and the world, and that can make you feel really good inside. So Seneca believed that by feeding your brain with interesting stuff, you can find a special kind of happiness that sticks with you no matter what happens. Lesson 2. Self-control and moderation. You know how sometimes you really want something, like maybe a big slice of cake or a new video game? Well, Seneca believed it's important to learn how to control those wants and not always give in to them. He thought that if you can control what you want and not always go after every little thing, you'll feel happier in the long run. It's like being the boss of your own desires. Seneca said that by learning to say no to some things and not always going overboard, you can find a special kind of peace inside yourself. It's like finding a balance between what you want and what you really need. So, by practicing self-control and not always giving in to every desire, you can feel more in control and happier overall. Lesson 3. Courage in the face of adversity. You know when things get really tough and scary, like when you have to stand up to a bully or face a big problem? Well, Seneca thought that being brave in those tough times is super important. He believed that courage means facing those scary things with strength and bravery, even when you feel scared inside. It's like being a superhero in your own life. Stoicism teaches us that when we face tough times, we shouldn't run away or hide. Instead, we should stand tall and face those challenges head-on, because they can help us grow and become stronger. So, by being brave and facing our fears, we can build up our inner strength and be ready to handle whatever life throws our way. Lesson 4. Detachment from external possessions. Imagine you really want the latest toy or the coolest gadget because you think having it will make you super happy. Well, Seneca believed that we shouldn't rely too much on things like toys or fancy stuff to make us happy. He thought that true happiness comes from inside, not from having a lot of stuff. It's like knowing that you're awesome, even without all the flashy toys. Stoicism teaches us to be okay with not having the newest, shiniest things all the time. Instead, we should focus on feeling good about ourselves just the way we are. By not getting too attached to stuff, we can feel more free and happy inside. So by letting go of the idea that we need lots of things to be happy, we can find a special kind of happiness that lasts. Lesson 5. Pursuit of virtue and good conscience. Okay, so you know how sometimes you have to decide between doing what's right and what's easy. Well, Seneca thought it's super important to always try to do the right thing, even when it's hard. He believed that being a good person and doing good things is more important than getting rewards or prizes. It's like being a superhero who always tries to save the day. Stoicism teaches us to listen to our conscience and follow our inner compass to do what we know is right. By being kind, honest, and fair, we can feel really good inside, like we're making a positive difference in the world. So, by focusing on being a good person and doing what's right, we can find a special kind of happiness that comes from knowing we're doing our best to make the world a better place. Lesson 6. Acceptance of fate and impermanence. You know how sometimes things don't go the way we want them to, like when it rains on the day of your big picnic? Well, Seneca believed that it's important to accept that sometimes life doesn't go as planned. He thought that we should try to be okay with the ups and downs of life, even when they're tough. It's like going with the flow instead of fighting against the current. Stoicism teaches us to accept that things change all the time, like the seasons or the weather. By understanding that nothing stays the same forever, we can learn to bounce back from tough times and enjoy the good ones even more. So, by accepting that life is full of changes and uncertainties, we can find a special kind of strength that helps us handle whatever comes our way. Lesson 7. Mindful awareness and reflection. You know how sometimes our minds are like a busy playground with lots of thoughts running around? Well, Seneca believed it's important to take a moment to stop and pay attention to what's going on inside our heads. He thought that by doing this, we can understand our feelings better and become stronger inside. It's like giving our minds a quiet space to think. Stoicism teaches us to be aware of our thoughts and feelings, like noticing when we're happy or sad. By paying attention to how we feel, we can learn to handle our emotions better and feel more in control. So, by taking time to think about our thoughts and feelings, we can become wiser and better able to deal with whatever life throws at us. Lesson 8. Gratitude and contentment. You know how sometimes we wish we had more toys or cooler gadgets like our friends? Well, Seneca thought it's really important to be thankful for what we already have, even if it's not a lot. He believed that when we appreciate the things we do have, we feel happier inside. It's like saying thank you to life for all the good stuff. Stoicism teaches us to look around and notice all the good things in our lives, like our family, friends, and even the little moments that make us smile. By focusing on what we're grateful for, we can feel more satisfied and happy with what we have right now. So, by being thankful for the good stuff, we can find a special kind of happiness that comes from appreciating the little things in life. Lesson 9. Service to others and contribution to humanity. You know how sometimes it feels really good to help someone out, like when you share your lunch with a friend who forgot theirs? Well, Seneca believed that helping others is super important. He thought that by doing nice things for others, we make the world a better place and feel really good inside. It's like being a superhero who helps people just because it's the right thing to do. Stoicism teaches us to care about other people and try to make them happy, even if it means putting their needs before our own sometimes. By being kind and helpful to others, we can find a special kind of happiness that comes from knowing we've made a positive difference in someone else's life. So, by lending a hand to those in need, we can feel really good about ourselves and the world around us. Lesson 10. Pursuit of inner tranquility and peace of mind. You know those times when everything feels chaotic and you just want everything to calm down? Well, Seneca believed it's really important to find a peaceful and calm feeling inside, even when things around us are crazy. He thought that real happiness comes from feeling calm and peaceful inside, like a quiet lake without any ripples. It's like having a cozy blanket of calmness wrapped around our minds. Stoicism teaches us to find ways to feel peaceful inside, even when things outside are noisy and busy. By learning to be calm and relaxed, we can feel happier and more content with ourselves and our lives. So by finding our own inner peace, we can feel really good and ready to handle whatever comes our way. Lesson 11. Embracing change and adaptation. You know how sometimes things don't go as planned, like when your favorite game gets rained out and you have to find something else to do? Well, Seneca thought it's really important to be okay with changes like that. He believed that life is always changing, just like the weather, and it's important to go with the flow. It's like being able to dance along with the music, even if the beat changes suddenly. Stoicism teaches us to be flexible and open to change, even when it's unexpected. By learning to adapt to new situations, we can handle whatever life throws at us and even grow stronger because of it. So, by being open to change, we can feel more confident and ready to tackle whatever comes our way. Lesson 12. Resilience in the face of failure. Imagine you're playing a game and you lose. It might feel disappointing, right? Well, Seneca thought it's really important to bounce back after things don't go our way. He believed that when we face tough times or make mistakes, it's not the end of the world. Instead, it's a chance to learn and grow, just like when we figure out a tricky puzzle after a few tries. Stoicism teaches us to be strong when things don't go as planned, and to keep going even when we stumble. By learning from our mistakes and staying determined, we can overcome challenges and become even stronger than before. So, by being resilient, we can turn setbacks into stepping stones toward success. Lesson 13. Looking inside to become better. You know how sometimes you stop and think about the things you did during the day? Well, Seneca believed it's super important to do that often. It's like looking at yourself in a mirror, but looking inside your heart and mind. By doing this, you can figure out what you're good at and what you need to work on. Just like when you practice a sport or learn a new skill, you can also practice being a better person. Seneca thought that by understanding ourselves better, we can become kinder, braver, and wiser. So by taking a moment to reflect on who we are and how we can be better, we can grow into the best version of ourselves. Lesson 14. Finding calm in the chaos. Imagine you're in the middle of a big storm, with winds blowing and rain pouring down. It can be scary and overwhelming, right? Well, Seneca believed that even when life feels like a storm, we can find a calm place inside ourselves. He called this calmness inner peace. So, how do we find this inner peace? Seneca said it's all about something called mindfulness. It's like when you're playing your favorite game or drawing a picture, and you're so focused that you forget about everything else. That's being mindful. Seneca thought that by practicing mindfulness, we can stay calm and focused even when things get tough. It's like having a superpower that helps us deal with whatever life throws our way. So, next time you feel stressed or worried, try taking a deep breath and being mindful. You might just find that calmness and peace inside you, no matter what's happening around you. Lesson 15. Seeing the good in tough times. Have you ever faced something really tough, like a big test at school or a disagreement with a friend? It can feel pretty hard, right? Well, Seneca, a wise thinker from long ago, believed that even in those tough times, there's something to be thankful for. He thought that when we face challenges, we have a chance to learn and grow. It's like when you practice a new skill in your favorite game or learn something new in school. Those challenges help you get better and smarter. So, Seneca said we should try to be grateful for the tough stuff. It might seem strange at first, but when we look back on those hard times, we can see how much they've taught us. They make us stronger, wiser, and more ready for whatever comes next. Next time you're facing something tough, try to find something to be thankful for. It could be a lesson you've learned or a chance to grow. And remember, even in the stormiest weather, there's always a little sunshine peeking through. Conclusion: finding joy in everyday life. So, we've learned a lot about Stoicism and Seneca's wise words. Stoicism isn't just about being tough, it's about finding real happiness, even when things get tough. Seneca's letters show us how to do just that. Think of Stoicism like a guidebook for life. It teaches us how to handle our feelings, be strong when things don't go our way, and find happiness in simple things. It's like having a superpower that helps us stay calm and happy, no matter what. Seneca's teachings remind us that life can be tricky, but we can handle it. By following Stoic ideas, we can be like superheroes, facing challenges with a smile and finding joy in every moment. So, as we go on our own adventures through life, let's remember the lessons of Stoicism. Let's be brave, stay strong, and find happiness in the little things. With Stoicism as our guide, we can make every day a little brighter and every challenge a little easier to face.